Hi everyone, this video is to help you learn English. Today, I'm going on a rant. My name is Courtney, and I'm going to talk about something that really annoys me. I'm going on a rant. Something that really annoys me is when people put the protein content on foods that have really low protein. Let me explain. So, for example, chicken is a food that has a lot of protein. I think there are over 20 grams of protein in a chicken breast. And so, if someone put 20 grams of protein on the package, that's fine. Chicken has a lot of protein. Let's see, what's another food that has a lot of protein? Cottage cheese. Cottage cheese is a food that has a lot of protein. And if someone put cottage cheese has 15 grams of protein on the package, that's fine. Cottage cheese has a lot of protein. But something that annoys me so much is when there is a product that has very small amounts of protein and they put the protein on the package. They highlight the protein as a feature of the product. So I'll give you an example. There's a granola bar, and the package says 5 grams of protein. 5 grams of protein. But the granola bar just has peanuts in it. And peanuts naturally have protein. So that's not a lot of protein. Why are you highlighting how much protein the granola bar has? My husband says that he thinks some companies do it. Some companies put the amount of protein on the package because they know the bar tastes bad. They know the granola bar tastes worse with protein than without. So he thinks it's a way to warn people, hey, this has protein. This is a protein bar. Don't blame us if it tastes bad because it has a lot of protein. And protein is supposed to be healthy, and usually healthy foods don't taste as good as unhealthy foods. So he thinks it's a little bit of a warning. But to me, it's just frustrating. Why are you highlighting the protein content of a food that doesn't have that much protein? Like, just don't highlight it on the package. Obviously, manufacturers have to include the protein content of their foods on the package. I think it's a requirement. That they include nutrition information about their product. So they have to include how many carbohydrates a food has, how much protein a food has, how many grams of fat a food has. They have to include if a food or drink has caffeine. They have to include the sodium content of that food. There are a lot of different nutrition information. There are a lot of different pieces of nutrition information that a person has to include. There are a lot of different things on the nutrition label that's a requirement. I'm not mad about the nutrition label. The nutrition label is fine. What I'm talking about is when the package, in big letters, says the protein content, and the protein content is low. So let me give you another example. Another example is the cereal that I just bought. So I just bought cereal, and on the front, it says 5 grams of protein. 5 grams of protein. And it has it highlighted on the front in really big letters, and then it has a spiky shape around it to draw your attention to that 5 grams of protein. But then, in smaller letters, it has something even worse. It says 4% of your daily nutritional value. 4%. Why do I want to know a percentage of protein that is so small? Why would you highlight that? Let me give you an example of what that's like. Let me give you a comparison. So, if you took a test and you got a 4% on the test, you got a 4%, you would not highlight that. That would be a failure. That wouldn't be something you're proud of. A 4%, that's nothing. That's so bad. And so, this package is advertising that the amount of protein in the cereal is 4% of your total daily value. You would have to eat so much cereal to reach your nutritional daily value of protein. Why even bother to advertise it? Now, my husband says that I'm being dramatic, and I am. I know I'm being a little bit dramatic, but every time I see a package that advertises protein as one of the main features of that product, but the amount is minuscule, the amount is something that, in my opinion, doesn't deserve to be the main feature, it makes me so mad. If you are a manufacturer and you're making a product, highlight the product's most important features. Don't highlight that it has protein if it only has 4% of the daily value. That's ridiculous. Anyways, I know that getting protein is an important part of a healthy diet. And maybe for some people this helps. Maybe for some people this helps them, but it just doesn't help me specifically. It doesn't help me at all. I think it's ridiculous and silly. This has been my rant for the day. Usually I post content that's positive, but I think it's important to listen to some rants, right? Because people aren't only going to say positive things. They're also going to tell you negative things. And it's important to be able to understand rants just as much as all of the positive things, right? It's also important to be able to express yourself when you want to go on a rant about something in English. Remember, if you like these videos, you should sign up for my membership. With my membership, you'll get weekly audios to help you test your English listening skills, and each audio comes with 3 questions. They're 3 comprehension questions to help see if you were paying attention, to help see if you actually understood the audios. So sign up for my membership to get weekly audios to help you improve your English. And with that, I'm Courtney. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you later. Bye!